Hey there, Improv Tipsters. Well, today I have a really great guest tipper for you today, Michael Gellman. Now, Michael Gellman's list of accomplishments and credentials are too long and too illustrious for me to elucidate here, so I will put them down in the description below. But I will tell you a personal journey that I've had with Michael Gellman. I have a little triptych of adventures with Michael Gellman. When I was in college, we went to what was, to my mind, one of the very, very first improv festivals at Skidmore College, and it was put on by the ad liberal artists, and it was, to me, mind-blowing, because at this time, years ago, there wasn't all the festivals that they are now, and Skidmore College just decided to throw this one, and we all came. It was phenomenal, and one of the features was that Michael Gellman was a teacher there, and although for some reason I didn't get to take his class, I think maybe we came a day late or something. He was at our show, and people were doing all kinds of different short form that we were in college, because that's kind of what we were doing, you know. And we did a Herald, and afterwards, I just went up to him, and knowing that he sort of knew about the Herald and kind of knew what was going on a little bit, I said, "Well, what did you think?" And he said something that totally encouraged me for years. He's like, "It was the gutsiest thing we saw tonight." And I was like, "Great," which was not to say that it was good necessarily. It was extraordinarily diplomatic, but encouraging at the same time. And that really kept me going for a long time and really shaped a lot of my sort of feeling about improv. Like, just get out there and go for it, right? And then, so that's step one. And then later, after I graduated college, I was still kicking around DC, and I was taking improv class in the basement of the Department of Defense, which you could do at the time, and which is crazy, but that's kind of where the class was, so that's where we went. And the guy who was instructing it, whose name I just honestly don't recall, brought in Michael Gellman for a 2-day workshop. And this was it, man. Like, the guy who was teaching the class, he was very nice and kind of was going through Spolin and stuff, all this good stuff. But Michael Gellman was someone who really knew what was going on. He was doing it all day, every day, on a daily basis, and just knew his shit, man. And it was, his notes on the scenes were amazing. The exercises he had us do were fantastic. And then I was really, kind of had done everything I could do in DC and improv at the time. And I said, I really want to pursue improv. But I just know what, and he's like, "You need to move to Chicago." And I was like, "You got it." And like a couple months later, I moved to Chicago. He literally changed the course of my life, of my improv destiny, and sent me to Chicago. And from there I ended up sort of at Northwestern and IO eventually. But when I got there, the first thing I did before I even checked in at Northwestern was I went and I auditioned and registered for Second City classes, and he was my level 3 teacher at Second City. So this is like the sort of the beginning, middle, and end of our adventure. And so I actually ended up having a great 8-week class with him. It was so fun. Again, just everything that I sort of loved about him in that initial sort of class in DC was just like amplified by days. Like, that class was only like 2 days, like not even full days. And then this was like, a regular Second City class, 8 weeks, 3 hours a day for 8 weeks. And we just went after it, And so it was great, and I've always sort of liked him for that little triptych of adventures we had together. So when I was thinking about guests for the tips, I definitely knew that I wanted to have Michael Gellman. And I will sort of, spoiler alert, that we have a fantastic tip today, but also in 2 weeks, I'm bringing you a second tip that he did. He had so much to share, and we had such a great conversation before the tip even started. I wish I could have recorded that, because it was phenomenal. Just like stories and just chit chat about improv. It was great. But we boiled it down to these 2 tips. One today and one in 2 weeks. So, blah, blah, blah. You didn't come here to listen to me. You came here to hear Michael Gellman. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy Michael Gellman.
This is more of a philosophy that is in my book and that I ascribe to these days than it is a tip. And that is, everything that you do on the improvisational stage is exactly as it is supposed to be by virtue of the fact that you just did it. So you can't mess up. It's impossible to mess up. If improvisation is in fact the jazz of theater, then we're talking about riffing, and we're talking about, like a saxophone player, you wouldn't say, "Hey man, in the middle of Little Brown Jug, man, you like totally blew a wrong note." It wouldn't exist, and it shouldn't exist for us either. So what do? If everything's okay, then How do we make it okay? Well, it's up to me to empower you by reacting to what you just said or did. If I don't react, it's like I'm saying it's not important. So I empower you and you empower me. And even if your partner or I do not do that for you or you do not do that for me, it's still what you did is okay. So you cannot make a mistake. There's no such thing. There's only not acknowledging your partner's offer, as Keith Johnstone might say. So everything you do on stage is exactly what is supposed to happen that night because you just did it. And that helps me not get so fearful sometimes. So I hope that helps.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Please leave me a comment down below and tell me what you would like to hear an improv tip about. And also, please subscribe and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All the links are in the description down below. Thanks.